Some good news from the world of cyberspace. Do we still say cyberspace? Is that?
We did this morning.
I just okay. Online bullying is still a big issue, but a new survey finds that most young people are careful, more careful than you think about posting, emailing, blogging, and tweeting.
The Consumer Online Safety Survey reached out to kids between the ages of 10 and 17, to their parents as well. Yahoo Web Life Editor Heather Cabot is here with more on that survey. Nice to have you with us this morning.
Thank you.
So we do tend to be really concerned about what our kids put online, whether or not they understand the impact of it, the lasting impact. But the headline from this survey is what? That they do kind of get it?
Yeah, that we actually should be giving them a little bit more credit. Our survey found that 46% of teens have actually taken down information that they regretted putting up. 65% of them search their names in search engines on a regular basis, meaning that they want to see what other people are writing about them and they want to manage that online reputation. 81% say that they use privacy settings. So they're getting the message, and we as parents, we're doing a good job.
Adults and kids have changed because 78% of adults say they have a good understanding of privacy settings online. That's up from 66% in 2010. 78%, it sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, we should all be excited that the messages are getting through. And I think, look, the fact is, as adults, we're using social networking more than we ever have before. And so we understand it a lot better than maybe we did, you know, 5 or 6 years ago at the dawn of all of this stuff.
And maybe aren't as intimidated, too, to deal with it and to talk to your kids about it. I know you have a number of tips for us, too, for parents in terms of making sure that everybody's on the same page here. The first one being that you have to maintain that dialogue with your kids.
Right. One of the things that we found is we've actually seen an increase in the amount of time parents are spending with their kids talking about all of this stuff. And in the past, people were basically just talking about predators. They were really worried about, you know, your child meeting a stranger online and meeting them in person, which of course parents are worried about. But now parents are talking about things like privacy. They're talking about things like, hey, if you post this picture, how is this going to impact you later on when you're applying for a job? So they're having these kinds of discussions with their kids. 60% of parents say that they have these discussions with their kids at least once a month.
And keep in mind, if you post something, even if you delete it, then it can still live
Yeah, we
forever.
like to say the internet is forever, and I think that's a great starting point when you're talking to your kids about this stuff.
You also say to establish a family media agreement. I mean, is this actually writing something down on paper?
Yeah, and actually there's a website called Common Sense Media. If you go to their website, it's commonsensemedia.org. They actually already have an agreement written out for you for different ages. And it essentially establishes your boundaries. You know, what are your expectations for your child when they spend time online, and what are their expectations of you as you monitor their activities? And it just gives you a document to refer back to. And in fact, our survey found that 1 in 3 families actually are using these right now.
A couple other pieces of advice: search for your child's name regularly.
Yes.
Online.
Yes, it just gives you a good sense of, so as I said, many kids say they're using privacy settings, but they're kind of confusing. So you need to spot check. You need to make sure that you want to see what other people can see about your child.
And those settings change a lot too. I mean, anybody who's, say, a Facebook user, for example, we do stories on it all the time, they change. People don't always understand that they've changed.
So you need to stay on top of it. You want to monitor what other people can see about your child.
And friend your child on a
yes,
site like
I think
Facebook.
it's a great idea to friend your child and talk
tell
to
them they have to.
Yeah, and tell them why you're doing it. And actually, about half of the kids that we surveyed said that their parents are friends in their social networking site. So kids are accepting of it. They realize that it's actually a good thing to have your parent there as backup, and be a good friend if you're friending your child. Don't be posting stuff on their wall, and don't embarrass them, you know, but be there in case they need you.
One thing we've heard is know your kids' passwords.
Yeah,
is that realistic?
Yeah, especially, you know, if we're talking about starting a dialogue with your child when they're first getting online. I think if you set the stage as soon as you're starting to give them those privileges, I think it's really necessary. And also, again, to explain to them, I'm not doing this to snoop on you. I'm doing this because if you need me, I'll be there. If you need me to take a look at something that's making you feel uncomfortable, if I have your password, I can do that.
And at the end of the day, you get to set the rules.
Yes.
Because you're paying for the computer.
You are right.
We're the parents.
Yeah.
Heather, thank you very much.
Nice to see you this morning.
Appreciate
Take care.
it.